Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another round of the J2iCS Sprint Series. This time from the Hockenheim ring. It's actually the penultimate round of our championship, as when we return in 2 weeks' time, we'll be racing from Oulton Park for the title. But here today, it's about setting yourself up for that final race, those final two races indeed, as we take on our first 20-minute sprint, followed by a 40-minute race with the top 8 inverted. Myself, Ewan and Jim Cunningham with you for this round of the championship. We had a great time at Phillip Island a couple of weeks ago, Jim. I don't think it's going to be the same as that, but it is still going to be another exciting race.
It'd be hard, real hard, to live up to that race. That was unbelievable. What an unexpected pleasure combo that was. So much fun.
Yeah, well, let's hope for something a bit similar here at the Hockenheim ring. Although, as I say, it is unlikely. I will not do the standings just yet, because otherwise our graphics are going to break. We'll have to wait for that to do it a little bit later on. But and indeed the session does now move forward. Let's go through the starting grid. And as normal, I guess you could say, it has Squilliam and Nottingham on the front row. They're only 2 points apart coming into today. They're on the front row together here for this one. Jason Winucki and Nate Modesta are on row 2 ahead of Nick Beaver and Urko. DC and Bozak are on row 4 ahead of Black Bob Wallace and Gavin Amman rounding out the top 10. Nicoletta and Jason Meyer are on row 6. And then a bit further down, AJ is in 13th place ahead of Omega, Ryan Schwab, and then Katsuda to round out the 16 driver field. And that will be how we line up for this round of the championship. There's the rest of them. 16 of them in the field. It is a pretty big field here today, and only the top half will be involved in that reverse grid we're going to see in race number 2. So that is going to be a big battle for this race. As I mentioned, though, Squilliam and Nottingham are just 2 points apart in the championship, and they're on the front row together here as well.
Yeah, it's another. Like I said, it's becoming accustomed to those two running up front, but they're both so much fun to watch, and seeing them out here. Let's hope that nothing. Past couple of races, we've had one or the other kind of, have a problem or something. Let's hope that they both can stay healthy and race each other the entire race.
Yeah, race each other without interruption. Let's hope so. It's the final 30 seconds of this gridding process now completes itself. There's only a few left to get onto the grid. There is Squilliam in the meantime. Just sat on that front position there after getting pole position in this race here today. Just a small deficit for him to overcome of just those 2 points up to Nottingham. Is it going to be an extension of that margin for the man starting from second, or is it going to be Squilliam who closes that gap? We will wait and see as the 2 minutes are now up. Everybody did just about get onto the grid in time by the looks of things. The penultimate round of the J2iCS Sprint Series here from the Hockenheim ring is set to get underway, and we are now green. Squilliam off the front row, getting off to a good start ahead of Nottingham, who immediately slots into line. In fact, the top 4 have all started into line here. Jason Winucki is next in line, then Ickmadust still in 4th position. Beaver then in 5th. And then you start to get to the side-by-side racing that's going on down towards the back end of the field. A very clean start indeed from the leaders.
Yeah, they got off to a great start, and there's a little action going on in the back, but they so far seem to be running clean and smooth back here as well.
Even in the midfield and down towards the back. Oh, as the championship rivals chase each other across the road down in towards the hairpin. We might see Nottingham squirt down the inside or outside at some point, but no, he stays behind us. Meanwhile, in the background, everybody gets through the hairpin quite cleanly as well. Now then, in towards turn 8, is there going to be another chance here, maybe, as they get down on the brakes outside line for Nottingham. He doesn't go through there either. This could be a race-long battle between Squilliam and Nottingham to take the championship lead, effectively, if either of them were to win this first race.
Yeah, I hope it stays just this exciting all night too, because I got a feeling that this is gonna be a good one tonight.
And that's going to be just between the two of them. Jason Winucki's nearly a second off of the front 2. Ickmadust then is a little bit further behind as well. Beaver and EC are next in line after that. Everybody has gotten through lap 1 cleanly, which is a bit of a miracle. Through that very tight hairpin at the end of the back straight, you'd expect to see trouble, but we haven't got any. Oh, someone goes a little bit wide in the background. That's the only trouble really we've had on lap 1.
Yeah, and relatively speaking, AJ going off track there wasn't the worst thing in the world. He didn't really lose too many spots. Maybe, actually, he's still up 3 from the start of the race.
And still made a good start. Now there's going to be another chance for Nottavin here. It could be a race-long battle between these two after all here at the Hockenheim ring. As they come down towards the hairpin, Nottavin's going to try and squeeze him onto the tightest line possible here, but even on the outside, even despite that, it's going to be a struggle for Nottavin round there, and he has the door closed again. He will have the better run, and he'll be straight in the slipstream here. Can he get alongside for the turn 7 kink here? That could help him. Well, only just. Here he comes on the outside line, compared to Squilliam, who's on the inside, and pretty comfortably staying in front. He goes a bit deep there, though, and again, Nottavin closes in. Through the right-hander at turn 10, towards the final sector. Another peak, but no move. Squilliam keeps the lead again.
You know, something to think about here. Well, they're dicing back there a little bit in the back. You know, this track is horribly abusive on tires. And the way Nottavin is driving right now, I mean, these are 20-minute sprint races, so you're not going to torture your tires completely. Oh! Squilliam gets a little off track there, but he managed to hold on to it. Oh, we got a car going around in the back.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Might be Urko, who is the only driver dropping down the field as it stands. The front 3 are still really close together, though. And J2iCS now in this fight here for the top 3 positions. Squilliam still leading, head of Nottavin, but look at J2iCS there. He's right there, right in the mix now, in that 3rd position. And on board with him, he's going to have a very good view indeed, down in towards the hairpin here at the battle between Squilliam and Nottavin. Here we go in towards that hairpin now. Nottavin is going to be forced to the outside line again. Same story. And has he broken too late this time round? He's on the outside. He might well have got it this time. He's stayed on the outside line this time round, which is exactly where you need to be. And that could give him the inside for turn 8 in time here as they go through the right-hander and the kink down the straight in towards the braking zone again. Outside line for Squilliam this time. Oh, can he hang on? He will do. He just about does by the looks of things here. Fantastic bit of racing there between the two of them. And Squilliam still somehow holds on.
That was absolutely fantastic, man. He took that big, wide swing out there, and I think he was just trying to carry as much momentum as he could, and he made a really good run down the straight. I thought he was going to get that position, but wow, that was a heck of a run he had right there.
He's still in the lead of this race, which is remarkable, really, when you consider the first few minutes. Just to go back to that point about tyre wear, by the way, in the sprint race, as you say, it isn't going to be a particular problem, but we have been told that Hockenheim is a high tyre wear circuit compared to the others this season. We will wait and see if that's going to be a factor in the second race of the day, because it's 40 minutes. In case you've not seen this series before, feature race, the second race, is 40 minutes long, as opposed to this first one, which is just 20. And the top 8 will be reversed for it as well. Right now, 8th place is Nicolator, who is starting to stretch a bit of an advantage in the battle for 3rd place in the championship over the likes of Bozak and Urko. And right now, he would only be losing minor points to Bozak. In fact, he's right alongside him, and maybe he's going to be gaining again on his closest championship rivals. That's the story as far as the battle for 3rd in the championship goes, as this 2-horse race in the championship continues. Nicolator goes down the inside. He gets up to 7th. Oh, and he hit Bozak. Well, it's a bit of an accident. He slid out the corner, hit Bozak, who loses a place as well. And off comes the rear wing there. Nicolator's got no rear wing now.
Oh, he's going to, if he doesn't realize that's gone, this is going to be big trouble right here.
If it actually affects his downfall, sometimes it only affects visually. Oh, no, it is affecting him. It definitely is. He's going to spin into the wall again. Nicolator is going to finish this race down towards the back, and therefore going to start race 2 down towards the back as well.
Oh, that was huge right there. Yeah, I don't think he still realizes that he doesn't have a wing.
He must know now, surely. Now he's slowed down a bit, although he's still going quite fast. Oh dear.
You know, what was weird is he took a couple of turns and it looked good, and then all of a sudden it went really bad. So I don't think yeah, he's pitting. Good. Okay. So I'm going to go look at this right here. There's been an incident. Okay. Apparently it's not an incident. He just died.
Well, it might be, but it's just in slow motion for the moment.
Is it?
Well, everything's moving slowly. There's a spin
you're
on
right.
the exit.
Yeah, the camera's stuck in slow motion for some reason. We'll sort that out later. There we go.
There we go. That's
there he is.
Slow motion. There's a
Yeah,
spin.
we got him now.
Just in
I
the
don't think
background
he's.
of.
I don't think he's done though.
Oh, whoa, whoa!
Oh my
and
goodness!
Very nearly gets hit as well. Oh, if he gets through it,
I'm
actually
still
spinning
don't
around a
think he's
couple of
done.
times.
Okay, maybe he is now, but
His rear tyres will be burning. I'll be surprised if he gets through this corner. All right. He just about has it up again.
all right. So here's an incident with Nodovan. Got run off the track.
This has been while we were watching. While we were watching that replay, Jason Winucki got down the inside of Nodovan. There was a bit of contact. Nodovan ran off the road, and he keeps second place.
Yeah, let's. So I guess when Winucki went to try to pass him, and I would like to go back and look at that one more time. So he dives down on the inside, but then when he kind of pushes way out.
Yeah. He doesn't really get
Actually,
any space
Nodovan did a good job there to avoid being hit hard. All right.
Was I think self-made there for Jason Winucki. So it's given Squilliam a 1.2 second lead, and now it's up to Nodovan to close that margin if he wants to win this race. Beaver is on the back of Winucki in the meantime as a result of that incident. In fact, there's a number of battles going on inside the top 8. Oh, and that's one of them. Winucki is going to lose that place now. He slides out the corner, and Beaver makes, the easiest overtake he's going to make tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meantime,
yeah, Winucki's just, I don't know, seems to be struggling just the slightest little bit now. I wonder if he heated up his tires or something.
Yeah, ever since that bit of an issue, he has started to really struggle here, and he's down to 4th position. So Beaver is up another place. Beaver is a long way down in the championship. Don't forget he's a contender in the Endurance Series, where he is currently leading after the previous round last week. But he is not a contender in the Sprint Series by any means. Eatmadust, in the meantime, has just dropped outside the top 8 as well here, by the way. And that puts AJ into it for the moment, into 8th position. We'll try and see why that has happened as well. But there's been a number of issues throughout the middle portion of this race, as we have a look at it here. Middle portion of this race after a very clean start. This is through the middle, the final section, through the chicane. He'll get his wheels onto the gravel before turning the penultimate corner by the looks of that.
Wow, that was, that snapped around pretty hard there. Let's see one more time from the air.
And just onto the grass here, not the gravel.
Yep, he did. You had a good eye there. I did not see that from that angle.
It's I just presumed really. I couldn't see, but I just guessed it would be because it did snap very suddenly, as you say. Blackbird Wallace, meanwhile, is trying to hold back Bozak for that 6th place, so AJ is going to be involved in that as well, and Eatmadust will be hoping that he gets there pretty soon as well. Oh dear, they are fighting. Didn't think it was quite this side by side. And here comes AJ on the inside line of Bozak here in towards the final sector. Round the outside. Oh, hello. Very close. And through goes AJ. That was pretty close to disaster. Bozak in the end demoted to 8th position.
Yeah, he's dropped back a few spots now. Wow. AJ seems to be pulling away from him.
He has the final corner at least, and set his sights on Blackbird Wallace up in front. Oh dear, well, not like that he won't. He goes a bit wide through turn 1, and now immediately Bozak is onto the back of him again, and he's straight onto him here into 2nd position, not quite. That pressure is going to continue, and it's going to get even more fierce, this battle now, because while these guys are fighting for 6th, letting others into the fight, like Eatmadust and Urko, for example, who are going to want to get into that top 8 so they can be on the front row maybe for that second race.
Yeah, that's a big position, so. And we've got,
it's very close.
Got about 12, about 8 minutes left or so. So we still got a little while. Things up front seem to be kind of settling down and shaking out a little bit.
Yeah, we'll leave the leaders to it for a while because they are very much running single file at the moment. Squilliam not battling any longer like they were earlier on in the race. So good evening, by the way, to Brad Tidwell, who's chatting already. It's saying it's an awesome combination. Great
Indeed
racing in those first laps. I think, yeah, it's maybe a surprising thing about, because I was associating Hockenheim with lap 1 drama, actually, especially down in towards the hairpin. But the fact everybody got through cleanly was very impressive indeed. It's been later on and afterwards where things have gone slightly wrong. That was a minor one for Bozak, just going onto the drag strip there. They've gotten off track for that, but it was a very clean start to this race, thankfully, through lap 1.
Yeah, they actually, it was, really clean. I mean, we haven't had any huge drama. We had some cars off the track. This is, let's see, this maybe have been something, or was this the one from before? Yeah, that's the one from before. I believe it is.
This is different. Oh, that's different. That's through the final corner. Ickmadust has gone off the road just a bit further around that final double right-hander at the end of the circuit there. So he will now not be in contention at all for the top 8 positions, because Ickmadust was very close to these guys and getting closer. He's not going to get that top 8 anymore, and he's going to be starting this race from down the back half of the field.
Let's see. Let's jump up here and ride on board with AJ for a minute and see what's going on here.
I get past Black Bob Wallace here with just over 6 minutes to go. Just over 5 seconds off of the top 5. These guys are not going to get any more out of this race other than the positions they can see directly in front of them for the moment. And we'll see whether AJ can actually execute this move a little bit wide there through the penultimate corner and then through the final turn onto the front straight. A little bit wide again. 6 minutes to go. I don't know how many laps to go. Might be 4 laps to go, I guess, in this race. And that's how long AJ's got to make this move effectively here.
Yeah, AJ went pretty wide there. I know that corner gives you some leeway on going wide, but he might have went a little even further than that. That corner's pretty generous.
It is a corner that could do with some gravel, to be honest, on the outside, but never mind.
It could. That's a good point.
It's all tarmacked over, unfortunately. And so you can extend quite a long way, although maybe not that far. What we just saw there, that's down in towards the hairpin. Absolutely no move made here between these two. And they continue on as they are. Here, the two of them, Bob Wallace and AJ.
Down to 5 minutes.
From Louis, yeah, 5 minutes to go. Should be 3 laps to go when they get to the line as well here for these two to sort it out.
See, you're a great lap calculator. Just don't let you calculate the fuel. That's all.
I've
Didn't you tell me that the other day that you messed up a fuel count somewhere?
I did in an official maybe 2 weeks ago now. I did put a 3 litres too little into a car, and then
you didn't laugh when I said it, so I wasn't sure if it was you that actually told me that, and I just remembered that it might have been somebody else.
It's not a happy memory for me to laugh
that's
about.
All right. That's why I bring them up.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. Well. There we go. At least I can figure it out. It's 3 laps to go. It should be. I'll have egg on my face in a moment when it's 4 or something. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it here in the next few moments. So we'll double it all for the second race coming up a little bit later on as Bozak closes in on AJ down the straight now in towards that hairpin. He's not close enough this time round, but Bozak's back in the game after that little bit of a mistake we saw a couple of laps ago. He'll be right behind us here with his onboard. He will be putting that pressure on AJ in these final couple of laps.
Indeed, he will. It looked like it was going to be AJ on Black Bob Wallace, but now Bozak is starting to bring the fight to him from behind. He may end up starting to drive out of his mirrors here a little bit. Because, well, of course, Bozak's holding on to the last inverted transfer position, essentially the pole position for the next race. And it's not going to be a real challenge for that unless a pretty big mistake is made. Urko's over 3 seconds back, so I don't know. I don't know that I'd push too hard if I was Bozak here. I believe I'd just settle in and take this ace place and take that pole.
He was. Well, I'm not sure whether he was pushing hard or not, but he certainly lost the car there through the final corner. He just got on the curbs on the outside line and sort of half spun to the inside of the corner, went over the grass and all sorts, and lost a bit of time out to AJ and Blackburn Wallace. Now are going to fight for sixth on their own, I think, without Bozak. I say, should be 2 laps to go, it might be 3. And as they make their way onto this next lap, AJ with no pressure behind, and he won't be doing that mirror driving anymore.
No, no. Bozak fixed that. Urko picked up a second on Bozak's mistake there. I don't know that that's enough to catch him, but that would be a devastating loss to drop back to 9th and miss that pole position.
Yeah, it would be very hurtful for Bozak, so I'm sure he'll be trying to avoid that in the next few moments, and I'm pretty sure he will do as well, to be honest, as Wallace and AJ continue along. They continue their fight here this afternoon.
Let's see where our leader's at here.
Yeah, this could still be 2 to go here.
It could be.
It's going to be very, very close. I think it is 2 to go here. Oh, I think we are going to get an extra lap out of this one, by the looks of things. That is, unless Irishman froze the checker flag early, that is going to be 2 laps to go here. And AJ has now made a mistake. So Bozak's got through, Urko as well, Meyer through. This is bad news for AJ. It's through the final sector, and it's completely got away from him now. He spins again into the penultimate corner.
Well, let's see how that all developed. Oh, just
on his own.
Just plain and simple, lost it.
It was completely unforced, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he didn't even have any pressure behind him.
No, not really. And that
all
the
goodness,
dirt on the outside and the dirt on his tyres put him round there at the outside of the penultimate corner as well. So he drops even more positions from there. From pushing for 6th position in this race, which would have been 3rd in the next race, he's all the way down now to 12th position. Never mind reverse grid. He's going to be starting from the back half of the field, and Urko's been given a lifeline this afternoon now.
Well, that's a nice gift to be given, isn't it? Pole position for the next race. Wow.
It was an absolute gift as well. Absolute
that's,
gift for Urko.
What a gift.
Meanwhile, Squilliam is into the final couple of corners, I think, to see the white flag here. Unless, as I say, Harrison chose the checker flag early, and it will not. 2 seconds to go.
2 seconds.
And we squeeze another lap in here for Squilliam, so he continues on. And that's just the one more lap for him to complete here. 14 laps in this first race. In that case, should be 27 for the second race. Then in that case, because there will be a pit stop as well. But Squilliam is going to win this one by the looks of things, and is going to close that championship advantage to Notvin, who started the day by leading by 2 points.
Yeah, that's insanely close. What I was thinking just now, was running through my brain, was Squilliam makes that line by 2 seconds and extends another lap. Now, if something happens to somebody right now on this lap, it would have literally been 2 seconds could have changed that entire situation for them. In fact, look, I don't know this affected much in the actual standings in the race, but it does look like Ryan swabbling around here.
On those curves a little bit on the outside, which has spun him around there, so he will get back going again now. But even if Squilliam and Notvin had fought a bit more, to be honest, if they'd have carried on their battle, then this race would have only gone 13 laps rather than 14. So that's been a very good drive from Squilliam, very good speed is what is on show here through the final corner. And he is going to close that championship margin to Notvin, who started the day on top of the championship points. Well, Squilliam's going to be seriously challenging that now as he comes over the line in first. No other battles over the line, really, other than Meyer Itmadust. Itmadust is going to be coming back through the field after that late spin Well, not that late, but those spins throughout the race anyway. He is only going to finish just inside the top 10, though. He is not going to get past Meyer at the line. He's going to start the second race from 10th place.
And as we're waiting the rest of the crew here to finish up. Yeah, what a tough break for Nicolator.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite early on in the race, really, and after that, rear wing fell off. He's never going to recover from that, unfortunately.
Yeah, no chance.
Taking an age to get over the line here. What's he doing? He's a lap down off of Nicolator, but he's somewhere on the circuit. But for unknown reasons. Where has he even found himself here? Because there he is. He's just got over the line. Wondering what was taking him so long there. But anyway, he has now finished the race. And indeed, we did get 15 of our 16 to the line, which is a good thing. Hopefully, we'll get all 16 of them to start race 2 coming up in a few minutes' time. But between now and then, it will be warm-up. We'll chat to a couple of the drivers who finished on the podium in that last race. And, of course, we'll show you the race results as well from that first race of the day.
Let's see here. See if I can manage to figure this out. Hey, it's not even qualifying or practice.
That is the first race results. Yep, so Squilliam has taken the win ahead of Notvin. Beaver rounds off the podium in third. Jason Winnicky will be in the bottom half of the top 8 for the next one after the grid's reverse. DC rounds out the top 5. Papa Wallace held off Bozak towards the finish there with Urko on the pole for race 2. Jason Meyer is going to be in ninth place ahead of Eatmadust, rounding out the top 10. Goward just outside of it. AJ held off Omega at the line there. Nicolator came over the line 14th ahead of Ryan Schwab and Matthew Kasuda, sorry. Smashing his name together. He finishes 16th at the back end of the excuse me, wow, at the back end of the field. Let's have a chat to Squilliam then, shall we, at the end of that opening race of the day. Congratulations, Squilliam, on the race win in the first race here tonight. How does it feel to take the first race win and close that championship margin to Notvin with one round out from the finish?
Good, really good. Getting the pole point and fastest lap point were also pretty big. I was pushing real hard at the beginning there to try to not only gap Notvin, but make sure I kind of secure that point, because it could very much come down to that with how close it is. So yeah, good race. Felt good.
Well, we've been told coming in, I'm sure you know this, that with the tyre wear could be something to worry about in race number 2. How much do you see that as being a factor in the 40-minute race we're about to see?
The balance of the car really changes throughout the stint. You kind of stay the same lap times, but you start to struggle in certain corners, but be better in others, just because the car gets lighter, but then you're losing the grip in the low speed and stuff. I think after the pit stop, when you put in more fuel, could be a little tough. I've done a little bit of practice on that, but especially with the higher track temperature, I think it could be the difference maker to kind of maybe your tires just a little bit and just make sure they're a little bit better for that second stint.
Well, congratulations on winning the first race, Squilliam. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again later on after race number 2. Good luck for the second race.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks very much. That's Squilliam, who has won race number 1, ahead of Notvin, who joins us now as well. Notvin, congratulations on finishing second in the end. It was the key moment in that race when Jason went down your inside there in towards the hairpin and cost you both a little bit of time. Is that the point you point back to in that first race?
I think so, yeah. I think that was kind of what made the gap that Squilliam needed to break the toe. At least he gained a crucial couple tenths there, I think. But it is what it is. I saw him coming behind me. I'm like, please don't overtake. I don't need to be slowed down. And then he sent it, and I was like, no. And now it's like, okay, well, I can't get stuck behind this guy now. So I tried to hang it around the outside, and then I don't know if he got loose or something, but he just kind of completely fell back.
He got on the curb there through the hairpin on the outside the corner, and so that's how he spun to the inside line, sort of. what are you expecting from race 2 here when you're starting almost directly in the middle of the pack here?
It's going to be an interesting one, to be completely honest, because the turn 1 or the kink or whatever it's called, that's like flat out when you're in the front, but I'd be interested to see if the guys in front take it flat out or not, or if they're gonna check up and then that causes the whole field to check up. So I think if you're gonna see some exciting moments there on lap 1.
We certainly are. Congratulations on finishing in second place in race 1, Notvin. Good luck for the second one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. That's Notvin chatting to us at the end of tonight. At the end of race 1, sorry, not the end of tonight. We've still got a race 2 to come up very, very shortly, and it's going to be exciting. We're going to be focusing, of course, quite a lot on Squilliam and Notvin here, naturally, here tonight as they fight it out for the championship. And, well, see how they get through the field again in race number 2 as well. Now, we've got to be careful showing you these championship standings because if they're up when the session changes, everything will break. I don't know if you have any idea how long is left in the session when you're doing this so that you can not break everything. But there you go. There's the championship standings for now. Notvin 2 points in front of Squilliam, who is in second. Nicolette a good ways back, but is pretty much more comfortable in third place than what he's been in previous weeks. Ahead of Bozak, Urko and Beaver, who are trying to chase him down. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. The standings are up. I'm not sure if we're moving into the next race session at the moment, or whether we're fine. It's fine. Yeah, I thought it might be. I've got no idea how long's left in the warm-up session, though, to be honest with you. We'll just keep babbling away until it's over.
Well, the session state tells me that we are 5 minutes and 54 seconds into a 10-minute warm-up session.
See, that's why. So it's just a little bit longer than normal. So we'll have another few minutes or so.
Give us a chance to chat a little bit about that first race.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think, as I said to Notvin there, the key moment was when Jason Manuki went down the inside of the hairpin. Obviously, he's got an absolute right to do that, but it's not unreasonable to say that is what helped Squilliam get that 1 second gap that was all important in the end, and afterwards, Squilliam wasn't caught again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's absolutely... Well, the reality is, if you look at the times from this week, which you and I both, excuse me, you and I both saw the times that they shared with us in our race notes. Squilliam was always a couple of tenths faster than Notvin all week long in practice. So the reality was Notvin couldn't have anything go wrong for him to just be able to keep up with Squilliam, because Squilliam got out there in clean air, and it was going to be everything that Notvin could do to keep up with him. And like you said, when Winooski sent it on him there, that was all it took. That was enough.
Well, we'll see how they get through the field in race number 2. I think is going to be the real key next up, because
it certainly was last week.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, last sprint series race. Obviously, we alternate weeks here, but yeah, I mean, it's always the way in these races. Whenever you have a one normal race, I'll call it that, and one reverse grid race as well, even only partially like we have in this series with the top 8 getting reversed. There's so much more that can go wrong for them when they're starting in 7th and 8th here, and at this end of the season, it could be absolutely championship defining as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at this point, there's no time to recover. If you have a bad second race here, that's huge, especially as tight as the points battle is. That's. I mean, and that's what it's really. I mean, that's what it all going to come down to is how these guys get through the traffic. Which to me, I love this reverse grid thing. I think it's fantastic. I think it takes something like, if this was just, say, a 60-minute race, it would be boring. But by doing it this way, we had an exciting sprint race, and now we've got a race that strategy is involved in, pit stops are involved in. guys coming up through the field, having to work their way around slower traffic. To me, that makes the whole thing so much more exciting, because that race would have been over at the 20-minute mark. They had all separated out by about 2 seconds or so, and it would have remained that way for the rest of the race, short of some kind of pit stop error. And this way, we get just so much more excitement out of the evening.
Absolutely, and Brad Tidwell making the same point in the YouTube chat, basically, that this is going to be an exciting one to watch, them trying to come through the field there, P1 and 2 in the championship, trying to come through all of these guys all at once. And we'll see whether they can manage it or not, really. It's going to be a very interesting second race, as we've said already. And also the fact that this circuit, a car combination, is certainly, possible to make mistakes for these drivers. Sometimes you get to circuits where, there's nobody really going off, there's no mistakes being made. But around here, this is proving to be a challenging circuit so far as well.
We actually had a lot of off tracks. I didn't show a bunch of them because we were focused on a couple of pretty good battles there, and they were, for lack of a better term, I don't want to say they were insignificant, but there's no need in grinding somebody's nose in it when they run off track 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? There's no point in that. We had those couple of good battles we were focusing on, but there were a lot of off tracks in that first race. So it's going to be really interesting to see once these tires come into play and that fuel load lightens up. But I believe we are ready to go here.
Indeed, the session has advanced, so we can now go through the starting grid for race number 2. Urko will be on pole alongside Bozak. That's going to be one to watch. Blackbird Wallace and DC will be on row 2, headed Jason Manucci and then Beaver. Notvin and Squilliam, our championship rivals, will share row 4. I'll let the rest of it scroll through on your screen because it is the same as what we saw in the results for race 1. It was just surprising to be down at 10th position. Nicoletta down in 14th with loads of work to do as well. But the lights are about to come on here from the Hockenheim ring. We'll see whether everybody is even going to get onto the grid here. It looks like in the background there may well be one late starter. Indeed, if they don't appear, then it will be a no starter, and this race will get underway in over a minute's time. But it's going to be a very open race. Urko and Bozak on the front row, for example, have got great chances to win from here as well. But let's see as the lights come on here in the second race at the Hockenheim ring. And we are now underway for 40 minutes of racing. Perhaps more important of the 2 races in the evening gets underway in towards turn number 1. Is it going to be a second clean start of the night? It is through turn 1. And hopefully we can do the whole lap one now with a clean start as well. As you can just see in the background, I think that is Squilliam just having a look to the inside. Oh, there might have been a slight bit of contact there, I'm not sure. As they went through turn number 2, Squilliam just looked to have just slipped through. And Notovin's trying to do the same as well, getting into the slipstream of his championship rival here and drifting past a couple of people. Squilliam's up to 6th place. Notovin's still where he started in 7th, and they're all over the road here. They're nearly 3 and 4 wide, going in towards the hairpin. Squilliam's down the inside, making moves. Who's that on the inside there? It looks like it's Jason Manucci. It was trying to make a move on Notovin. He's put himself in a really tight line, though, and he's not going to go anywhere. He's gone backwards, in fact, as there's carbon fibre everywhere in the background.
Yeah, was that? I'm not sure if that was Winooski's carbon fiber or if that was if it was Matthew. Oh, never mind.
It looks like it was further back.
That was something that happened earlier. I apologize.
Let's have a look. Oh, Kassoud. Oh, wow. Oh. He came flying in.
Yes, he
did.
And
hit the back of Ryan Schwab there at the back end of the field. So that's what happened there. We've seen that down towards the hairpin. And then he's got no rear wing, Ryan Schwab, so that's why he's struggling to get back to the pit lane.
We've seen that happen already once today.
And we have, yeah. That's replaying back there. Further up front, Notovin has suddenly... how's he done that? When we left after there must have been some goings on down towards turn number 8 then, because coming out the hairpin, he was behind Squilliam and didn't make that good of a start. He's gone wide there, and now he's made up 2 places, and Squilliam's the one under pressure. He's defending now from Ipajust down towards turn number 2. Ipajust already up 3 positions from where he started down in 10th, and he's looking for a 4th. He can't quite get past Squilliam though for the moment. Suddenly the tide's turned here, and it's Squilliam under the pressure. He's now got Ipajust alongside him. Jason Manucci coming the other way now. He's going to go 3 wide with Squilliam through the middle. Oh dear, this is not playing into Nottvin's hands very, very nicely indeed. Nottvin goes through on the inside. Squilliam disappears briefly. That's never ideal. And he gets away with it. Squilliam down to 7th.
Yeah, that I'll tell you what, Jason Winucki, he's not scared to send it, man. He will flat throw it into a corner, won't he?
He's
And he does some wild moves. I'll give him that. Yeah, that would not have been benefited so much from that.
Someone in the background has gone off in a pretty big way there. I think it was Omega, maybe.
It was Omega, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Out of turn 10. He just got on this curb on the outside lines, trying to keep up with the others.
Oh.
And he just bobbles and crashes in towards the wall. Oh, hard as well.
Big hit. Big hit there. So while we have a second here, I wanted to go back and show this right here.
Yes, this is where Nottvin made all his places. So, Beaver was down the inside of Squilliam there, who has forced a little bit wide, and Nottvin just slips through on the inside of both of them there and takes the double overtake. He does go off the circuit to eventually seal the place, and that might well be frowned upon and talked about, but it was good driving initially through turn 8 to pick up those places.
Yeah, he definitely took it a little wide there for sure.
And
yeah, very
this has given Nottvin a great situation in the race now. As we go back to live, he's 4th position, and he's 1 place ahead of Squilliam. He's got the fastest lap to his name as well. You can already see the problem of the reverse grid for these guys who start down towards the back, because the front 3 have kind of gotten away here, and Nottvin's got to do the work to catch up. Squilliam has as well, but Nottvin will be pleased he's a position ahead of Squilliam for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and well, I won't say comfortable, but he does have a decent little gap there, which is nice for him. I'm sure he's hoping Beaver or somebody comes up there and starts trying to pick on Squilliam a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think he will do, to be honest. And towards the hairpin as we see them make that all-important exit from turn 2 now. This is exactly where it's still going to be happening, down in towards the hairpin. Eva is going to be putting that pressure on. He's certainly closest to Squilliam. This is the closest battle we've got inside the top 6 for the moment. The 6 who are starting to break away from the rest of the field. Squilliam realises it as well. He moves it over to the right-hand side. But Beaver just lifts off slightly and stays in position behind him.
Yeah, but any of that defensive driving that Squilliam's doing is only benefiting Nottvin, you know, getting off his racing line, trying to protect his position. That's exactly what Nottvin wants to see for sure. Although that being said...
contact! Bozak and Urko have made contact as Bozak was trying to take the lead away from Urko. They've both hit each other and they've both dropped way down the field. You saw the damage they both had. They've clearly hit each other down in towards turn 8 and they've dropped to the back of the field.
Let's see if we... There we go.
Well, it's Bozak on the inside. Urko on the... Bozak spins and Urko didn't have anywhere to go.
No, that was definitely all on Bozak right there. But I don't think it's over. I think some more action happened after that.
Maybe just them picking themselves out through the gravel and whatever. This is
I don't know.
There won't be anything else I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, they're just trying to get back and they can't do it. Can't do it the normal way anyway.
Another little incident here while we're looking at incidents.
Oh, Kasuda's got no front wing.
Yeah, that'll make it tough, won't it? Hey.
We saw this earlier when he hit Schwab, but I wonder he's missing his front wing again, and it's put him back to pit lane. So that was the end of that. Meanwhile, Nottvin is side by side with DC as we return, and Squilliam suddenly is way down. Where is he? Oh, he's in the lead, sorry. Where has all this happened then? It's always the way,
goodness.
isn't it, while we're looking at something else? William has got to the lead now, and he could well be really taking charge in this championship. Notvin's only just got himself through into second. So what is going on here?
Oh.
That was DC who was out front. Notvin a little bit sluggish off the final corner. Squilliam just takes them all here. Not sure really why DC was so wide through the final corners there, but Notvin gets overtaken and then gets freight trained a bit here by the others coming through.
It looked like he was, so he obviously made a move to get back into second. That's why I'm staying with this. Yeah, he's okay.
Quite long and drawn out. So
I think he slowed more to avoid that when DC ran off track. I think he slowed down more potentially, and that's why everybody was able to freight train him.
he certainly didn't immediately blow past DC to try and take that position away, and that moment of hesitation might just have cost him here, because when he went side by side and towards turn one with Squilliam, he went wide and lost out on the time. So less than 10 minutes into this, Squilliam has gotten a lead, and he looks like he's going to be keeping it as well. If race one's anything to go by, he's going to be very difficult to catch from here.
Yeah, he's already stretched his lead out to almost 2 seconds. Just that fast.
And Mayer, meanwhile, has gone off somewhere and has dropped a couple of places there. Bob Wallace and AJ have gone through, and there's a load of gravel on the circuit there, coming through the fast right-hander, the Mobile One curve. That is what happens on RS in these days, of course, when somebody ends up off in the gravel and brings it back onto the circuit again. It does affect these drivers as they come onto the front straight again here. More gravel kicked up as well. William sets the fastest lap of the race.
Look at them back there, man. They're plowing through the gravel back there. I mean, it's to go all the way back here to this spot, but there's some good battling going on back here.
There's all sorts going on up and down the field here. Meyer currently in ninth place, ahead of Nicolator, and then Gavin Hammond as well, who is in this group. You'd imagine Nicolator will be on the one on the way through here, based on his speed shown earlier
and Jace
on.
Meyer, we haven't talked about him a lot, but yeah, there goes Nicolator. Nope.
That's only a look. But
Well, I thought he was going to send it, but he didn't.
No, not this time. Wallace and AJ were battling side by side as well for 7th position there in towards the hairpin, but no change there either. And again in towards turn 8, no change there. Meyer now does go on the defensive though from Nicolator in towards turn 8 because he has to. Nicolator goes for the switchback. He'll need another switchback here to get to the inside again. And well, you can see the different line by Meyer taken just to try and take that one away from Nicolator, but it's not going to happen. He's down the inside, but no. Meyer around the outside and still keeps his place.
Wow. Yeah, it sure looked like he had that pass completed, didn't it?
At one stage it did, but he's now back in,
in
the weird tracks again.
Looks like Gavin Amon. Yeah, he did. He managed to hold on to it, but he definitely spun it a little bit there.
Renucci, meanwhile, down the inside of DC for 5th position. That was down towards turn 2. Maybe not the wisest point to do it either. Just before the very long straight and towards the hairpin. So Renucci there couldn't quite get himself into the top 5 this time around.
Oh.
As the few battles we have remaining continue on. They're not for the lead anymore. Squilliam is continuing to stretch out that margin as we approach the pit stop window, which is at the usual times at the start of this lap, I think. At the end of this lap, rather. I think they will be able to make it into the pit lane and make it to the end on fuel as well.
Yeah, Squilliam is just slightly inching away from him, you know, and now that Beaver is on Notvin's tail here, that's only gonna help Squilliam for sure. Because as you heard during the interview during the warm-up session, Nodovan was well aware that Winooski was behind him, and you can believe he's well aware that Beaver's back there putting that pressure on him as well.
So come in towards turn number 1, and that gap is only going to grow now for Squilliam. Got an extra 3 points, by the way, compared to Nodovan for winning the race, compared to second. Already a point for pole position as well, of course. So he'll have a 2-point championship lead coming into this race. Not sure where the fastest that point went, though, so that's probably not entirely accurate.
He said during that interview that he got the fastest lap, too.
Okay, I missed that. I wasn't paying enough attention, clearly. So that'll be another one to add. But I'll leave that out of the equation for the moment, because obviously fastest lap for this race could change yet. But as we run, at the very minimum, the lead is going to be 5 points for Squilliam going into the next race. Now, if it's less than 6, and well, I suppose in theory, less than 9, then either of them can win. If they win both races and take all the bonus points, then either of them can win no matter where the other finishes if it's below 9 points. However, for Squilliam to turn that advantage around and give himself even 5 points, if it's going to be that would be an extraordinary turnaround and a great position for him to be in before the final races.
Well, these two are getting after it, huh? Tooth and nail now for several laps.
Side by side for several corners this time round, and round the outside, Meyer stays in front of Nicoletta. I'd imagine we'll be getting a bit frustrated about this now. He's been stuck behind Meyer for quite some time, and it's still not quite done yet. He still can't make the overtake.
Well, there's two ways to look at it, I guess. You could look at it as he's frustrated, or he's enjoying the racing, that could go both ways, really.
Well, that is true. So again, he has a look down the inside. So he's done many times before, and we've commented on it as well. Out of turn number 2, he is in the slipstream. Right in the slipstream here is Meyer. Going to try and come past Wallace, Black Bob Wallace, and this is going to be surely, Nicoletta trying to come past Meyer, I should say, and surely he's going to be through. No, not quite. Just about see Nicoletta on the left-hand side there, and you certainly can't see him in this camera shot because he's behind us. And Meyer will stay in front. Oh, maybe not. Nicoletta does go around the outside, it turns out, and he'll get through into ninth position.
No,
finally,
he's not going to take it. Watch.
Man in the championship get this done. You'd imagine he will on the inside for turn 8. That's very late on the brakes, so again from Meyer, as he got stopped in time, he just about has, but it's a bit too late on the brakes. He goes round the outside, does Nicoletta, and through into ninth position. In the meantime, DC and Jason Winooski start their fight just as this one ends. DC holds on to 5th position.
Well, them curbs upset Winooski's car big time right there, as it just did DC's.
That's what happens with
it's a
these
nice
cars.
battle in front of them as well. Look at that. Or behind him, I mean.
Yeah, that's AJ and Black Bob Wallace, who are nose to tail. So there's a few nose to tail battles. Beaver and Notvin as well, of course, but that's only for second place. The leader is gone. Squilliam is going to have about half an hour here to just bring this one home here, as long as he doesn't make any miscalculations with when he needs to pit and indeed how much fuel he needs to take. He will be winning this race and extending his championship lead that he will have taken here throughout tonight in towards the hairpin. Is there any look behind? There is. Jason Winooski is down the inside of DC in the background, and he's gone too deep. We've seen that story before. DC straight back through again.
We have indeed. I'm trying to see where I'm trying to go back and find the replay of where Beaver got by Nodovan.
This was a while ago. It was quite a few laps ago now. So, and it doesn't seem that there was too much of a scrap over it really either. Notvin doesn't want to let this battle for a second descend into something even more crazy by letting Eatmadust close in, who by the way has made up loads of places and made a very good start to this race. Certainly doesn't want DC and Jason Winooski to close and bring all the others with them as well. So you can understand why Notvin's not fighting this one too hard for now.
Yeah, but time's running out too. Every point matters at this point in time.
I'm not saying it's going to let him have it all the way to the end of the race, but just for now.
No, I get your point, and he's more than likely he's gonna try to, hopefully he'll push him a little bit and get him to use his tires up, and then he can get on back around him and take care of business.
Let's see what happens here as they make their way down towards the hairpin again. I'd imagine he will be sticking behind for a while. AJ is now on the back of Jason Winooki, by the way. So after that attempted overtake, was it last lap or the one before? Jason Winooki went very wide, and not only did he really lose that place to DC, he's actually been caught now by AJ.
Yeah, and AJ and Black Bob were battling there for a while.
AJ is up the road and looking for another place, looking for 6th place now is AJ. Currently running down in 17th in our driver standings because he's not been at all the rounds so far. You won't be surprised to learn he's missed a couple. So that's why he's so far down towards the back. Let's see, now comes into the final sector just in behind Winooki again. And Black Bob is going to get closer as well here. This is going to be a big battle now as we just about hit the halfway mark. Winooki with a bit of a mistake. AJ all over him now.
Oh, he spun
contact! Was there contact or did Winooki spin? I think Winooki was trying to come into pit lane. AJ didn't realise and maybe hit the back of him. That is just, again, a presumption, really.
Yeah, let's
based
see.
on the lines that were taken.
We'll look at it from the chopper. We should be able to see that.
Hello, this is a long time ago. This is Winooki trying to get past DC, I think, and getting it wrong as he did. That's way too late on the brakes. That's why he lost so much time. So that was a couple of laps ago.
Well, it's weird. It's showing me. It's so strange.
And that's through the grass onto the pit lane as he comes in.
Yeah, that's so weird. One more time here. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I can't. Oh, there. Here, maybe this is it.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, there it is. So there was contact.
Contact.
You were correct. Looks like he was trying to pit.
It does look like, I mean, I guess there's almost no way of knowing until we ask him, really. But the line, it looks like he was just about trying to come into pit lane there. It's just such an awkward pit entry here at this circuit when you're so close to somebody like that. There's not a lot you can really do to alleviate those problems around this circuit unless they change the pit entry to make it something more,
Yeah, the only way they'd really fix that is if you had to commit before the turn.
Yeah, maybe take a tighter line on the way in. Yeah, maybe a bit like what they have at Watkins Glen, if you like, that final corner there. It is the same thing, and I know that not many people follow the rule in iRacing, but
no, they don't.
It's a rule that works quite well, and maybe they should do it here as well. As the second place, Beaver comes into pit lane, by the way, makes his way back out again as well. So trying something a little bit different compared to Nottingham, which is interesting.
Yeah, indeed he did. That's let's see what his time was. He had a good stop, it looks like. Fast in, short. Well, I'll tell you who took a really short stop was... Oh, never mind. That was on lap 1. Yeah, so he had a good stop. Let's see how that works out for him now. He's...
Yes, it's the traffic I'm more worried about for him, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I came back to see if he's got some free air in front of him a little bit.
Well, yeah, for a couple of laps he'll have that. It just depends. I mean, let's say he's going to do another low 32 here, and these guys are in the high 32s. He's going to gain half a second a lap. He's going to get there in 5 laps or so. Maybe he'll start losing time sooner than that. So he's got to hope effectively that in the next 5 laps, which realistically around this circuit is only about 8 minutes, he's got to hope they pit in. And I think he's going to be a bit fortunate in that sense. I think they are going to pit in before he gets there, because you're right, he does have that little bit of clean air just in front of him. But if he catches them before they actually pit here, he could be in a bit of trouble here with Nottingham as DC comes in from 4th.
Yeah, I'm trying to calculate how fast he's catching that traffic in front of him. It looks like DC pitted, but yeah, so that's
He's back out, and he won't have any problems with traffic because Beaver only might have problems. Notvin certainly isn't, although he is continuing to lose time to Squilliam here at the very front of this race. It's been an exhibition from Squilliam today. Notvin has got to try and limit the damage, and the difference, by the way, between second and third is a couple of points. So he's going to need everything he can get, and he's got to beat Beaver effectively in this race, and Notvin to just keep Squilliam in check here before the final round.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best he can hope for, really, is to come out of here with a second place and give himself a chance for, something to happen next week or in 2 weeks when we next race. Which is I'm trying to remember the track that we're at next week. It's
Alton Park.
Yeah. So, well, that's I don't know. That's an interesting circuit. Things can definitely happen there for sure.
Yep. Well, that is for sure. Next week we'll be at Sebring, of course, for the penultimate round of the Endurance Series, but the week after that we'll be here for the final round of the Sprint Series, and that will be at Alton Park. So should be good racing around there as well, even though it's not normally in these cars. It is, or in any cars, I should say, around Alton Park. It is these cars, so should provide good action. Still 2.5 seconds. So even though Beaver did a 31 last time round, he's still not really catching Gavin. Oh no, he is. Well, that's because Ammon's off. That will help him a great deal, actually.
That will.
Ammon making a mistake of his own.
Yeah, that was a beneficial mistake right there for Beaver for sure. So he's running, but he's still only running. He's running about the same lap times as Notvin, which is good, I guess, because he's got more fuel on board. So that's an accomplishment. That's good.
It is, yeah. Not only to you don't often see the undercut working really with this series, unless there's some sort of tie game going on here, but I wouldn't expect so. DC and AJ have come out pretty much nose to tail. They've both made pit stops, so what we're waiting for now, only the top 8 minus Beaver are going to be coming into the pit lane really now. And we've seen most of them in. And Squilliam now comes in as well. After 16 laps out there, he's decided that now is the time to come in. I'm kind of surprised he's come in before his fuel's run out, actually, but there you go. He's into the pit lane with 15 minutes to go.
So we can keep an eye on his time down there on the bottom along with some other people.
Yeah, he's in with Nicoletta and Gavin Amman are in as well.
A fast stop. Gee whiz.
And who is that coming out of pit lane right in behind Beaver?
Squilliam had a 5-second pit stop.
Yeah, he's got a very big lead over Beaver.
Yeah.
If Notvin has the same pit stop as Beaver, then that lead's going to be almost double what it was before the pit stops for Squilliam. Although he's in traffic now. His pit stop was so good, he's actually found himself in traffic.
So that's a
Black Bob just in front of him.
That's a lap car, right?
No, that's Black Bob just in front of him. The car behind him is a lap car. But the one in front is Black Bob Wallace, who's in second place in this race. But as I was saying, the pit stop was so short from Squilliam, he's got himself in traffic now, whereas he wouldn't have otherwise.
Well, it's probably not going to be more than a lap probably before Black Bob pits anyway, so if he doesn't get around him before that, which he's flying right now. There goes Black Bob pitting. Man, Squilly, he's hauling butt.
He is absolutely leading by a long way now.
So
Notvin's in. Let's see where he's going to come out in relation to Beaver, because, miles behind. Notvin's having a long stop now.
No,
this is perhaps big for the championship, as Notvin is still in pit lane. Black Bob Wallace is going to be ahead of him now as well. Notvin is going to fall down the field and fall out of championship contention maybe with this. It's a massively long pit stop for Notvin, who's still sat there, still waiting. He's going to be 10th before he knows it here. Jason Renucki's going to get past him. Gavin Amman's going to be next in line. Notvin is still sat there You wonder whether it's a speeding penalty or something.
Had to be
as he
something,
now
yeah.
finally exits the pit lane. He's going to be 10th position. Amman's going to go right round the outside here. And Notovin's got an almighty job on his hands here to recover anything from this race.
Yeah, I believe that had to be a speeding penalty. 40 seconds plus the pit stop. That's wow. Yeah, that's brutal. So it dumps him out in 10th place.
Only 21 points for 10th, by the way, compared to 35 for the win. So 14 points possibly to be gained by Squilliam here at the very most. And that is going to be a big championship lead going into the final race. If that were to hold, we'll wait and see, of course, what the standings would actually be when we get out of this race. But Squilliam here is going to be putting himself into massive contention. Well, not only massive contention, he's going to give himself quite a big lead at this rate.
Yeah. I'm curious to see, how much Notovin can recover from that. If you look at the gaps between him and the guys in front of him,
big.
You could see him maybe, making up two or three spots, but that'd be about it.
I'm only going to say he's going to gain one, actually. My prediction.
Well, he should be significantly faster than a couple of those guys, though.
There's not that long left. Is it 11 minutes to go now?
It's 15, roughly. Oh, no, not even 15. 12 minutes. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Yeah, just ticked over to 11. So at most we're going to have 8 laps to go at the line. Gap to Winnicki from Ammerman is 8 seconds, but he's not even past him yet. So even at this stage, Notovin at the very least would need to catch 1 second a lap on Jason Winnicki to get up into even 8th position. However, he's not even caught Ammerman yet. He's certainly not past him yet either. And then he's got to try and catch. And it's probably not quite 8 laps to the end. It might be less than that. So the amount of time he's going to have to gain a lap is going to be going on 2 seconds by the time this is all properly figured out. This is disastrous for Notovin. Absolutely disastrous.
Bozak there in the background, apparently he had an... Oh, here we go.
I forget he smashed up with Urko when he's battling for the lead earlier.
Yeah, and then he's struggling. Rough weekend for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. He's not even. Yeah, he's gonna struggle. I mean, he should get by Amerman, but Winnicki's been fast all day. I mean, the reality is he's been super quick. He's just kind of overscented a couple of times and missed his braking points and stuff like that, and a few little mistakes, crucial errors along the way of sending him back in the field a little bit. But he was as fast as, up there running for the lead in both these races at some point.
Exactly, and that's why it's going to be just so difficult. And then look at what you've got up ahead of that. Nicoletta, who's 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, in 7th position. He's going to be hard to catch as well. Blackburn Wallace is, maybe a bit higher than where his pace so far today has suggested, and he's being caught by Nicoletta at the moment. 3 tenths last lap, I should say. But Notovin's not going to catch them unless there's problems. That's what he's going to have to hope for. He's going to have to hope they fall off in front of him. Otherwise, it's going to be 9th place at best here for Notovin.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. It's amazing what would appear to be a relatively minor mistake, can be so massive in your hunt for a championship.
It's these moments, isn't it, that it all comes down to. These really small things, and in the end, have big consequences. We believe it to be a speeding penalty anyway. Not got that 100% confirmed, and we probably won't do, at least over the course of this evening. But that is probably a very minor speeding violation. Probably over by only a couple of kilometres an hour, maybe, and that's been the difference here between having a decent day in the championship and at least keeping Squilliam in check and letting this gap really balloon now in the championship.
Yeah, it's going to put Squilliam in a spot where it'd be almost impossible for him to lose the championship next week or next race.
Yeah, we'd have to figure out how he would end up going about losing it. But if he had 2 points, and this is not counting the fastest lap points that he might well get, if he's leading by 2 points at the start of today, even if Notvin gets this position, it will be 15 points going into the next round. And that is, as I say, not including the 2 fastest lap points. So he might be able to get here, Squilliam. Although I think Beaver's got this race's fastest lap for the moment. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, we'll find that out a little bit later. And as you say, we'll have to figure out whether it is even possible for him to lose the championship lead as well. The most he can lose in race 1 is just 12 points. That's not including bonuses. So I guess it could be 14 if you want to be pedantic. And then in the feature race, it very much depends how many people we get. But at the very maximum, you're going to gain 31 points on your championship rival. So that could be done. However, to gain 31 points, you'd have to have at least 30 people here in the race, and that's not going to happen.
He's going to have to pay all his friends to show up and race next week.
He's going to need a lot of friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of
sure.
friends. This 16-car field is nice, man. This is one of the nicer fields of the week of the season so far, really.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah. Just for reference, by the way, we have got 29 who have done at least a round of this season. Although, as I mentioned, quite a few of those have only done one round of the season. In fact, 7 of them have only just done one round. So if you think there's 22 people probably who are realistically going to turn up, even then, the maximum loss would be, 26, which, it would be possible. But then again, the problem becomes for Notovin, he's relying on Squilliam to make a mistake. That's the problem.
And that would be a big mistake. That's an out of the race kind of mistake.
Worse than that. Worse than the one we just seen for Notovin.
Oh, way worse. Yeah. Yeah, that would not end the championship hopes for Squilliam. So, it would have to be a bad one.
Yeah, even this will be fine for Squilliam in the next... and that's the thing I was mentioning just as we were coming into this race. The gap was projected... At one stage earlier on in this race, the gap was projected to be about 7 or 8 points going into the last round for Squilliam, which is a nice lead to have, don't get me wrong. That is a nice lead to have, 7 or 8 points. However, if Notovin took all the points from next round at Oulton Park, then there's nothing that Squilliam could have done. It was still technically in his hands when Notovin was running in second, but that mistake has taken it completely out of his hands.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that, at the moment, I'm sure he knew it was big, but, do you even really know that it's that big? But that's huge.
I'm sure he'll be aware of the situation now. We'll be coming home to him as he gets on the back of Gavin Amman here. He needs this extra point. It is only for 1 point, but he absolutely needs it here. Does not have it, and Gavin Amman is not going to let him have it quite very easily here. Down in towards the hairpin. He's going to pull out at the very last moment. Down in towards the hairpin. He's going to go right round the outside rather than go for the switchback. And he slides a bit. And he'll be absolutely level coming up the corner here with Amman on his right-hand side. Through the kink at turn 7 they go. They'll be down the inside at 8 as well. And is he still alongside here, Notovin? No, not quite. And Gavin Amman keeps this. Goodness me, this will be another psychological blow if he can't even make this overtake.
Well, he tried that same move he did earlier in the last race where he slung it way out there wide, trying to carry the momentum, but the back end stepped out on him this time, so it didn't work as well.
That was a bit wide from Amman here, and Notovin's closed in, right in through these penultimate corners, and he has a peek. He's not going to go down the inside through there. That would be very brave indeed. Through the final corner, he's got it wrong. Oh, he's just slightly into the gravel. He gathers it up rather quickly, but goodness me, this would be a huge blow if he couldn't even get ninth place off Gavin Amman here on the last lap.
No guarantees for sure.
He's not going to be given the place.
No.
Be made to work
and
for
that's
this.
Good to see. That's,
yep.
That's, you don't want anybody giving up positions, just giving them away.
No, sometimes, unfortunately, you do see that when there's championship contenders. You get drivers who don't want to be involved. But in a way, you are involving yourself by letting them through. So it's not really possible to...
I have to say, in that situation...
Much better, sorry, we'll get back to that in a second. Much better to do it this way round,
Yep.
where you are battling away. And Notvin's really trying to get through this time. He's going for the inside for the kink, give him the outside for turn 8, but he's not even alongside, is he? Oh, he's just about got his nose there. And he does have the momentum, so Notvin is going to be on the outside for this part. No, again, he still can't get it done.
Yeah, he keeps trying. He's trying to swing out wide. This time he tried to swing out wide and under to come back under and cut under him, but it still just it didn't work. I mean, he's got it in his head that big wide swing, but we have yet to see it work. It didn't work in the first race either. And now it's over. It's something's gone a little bit wrong there for Amman, and Notvin is through this time round. So Notvin gets into ninth position. It's almost like he was a blue flag car there, Amman, letting him through. So over the line they'll go again. Not sure how many laps it is for these two at the moment because there's only 2 minutes left, but it probably is going to be penultimate lap time for these two. Yes, it will be. Cunningham is into the final sector just here in a moment. It's going to be 26 laps in this second race by the looks of things, and Notvin has got 2 more laps here to hang on to that ninth place. Yeah, this should definitely be the white flag lap here coming up.
What a day for Squilliam.
Yeah, what a day. What a day for Notvin. Just the other.
Oh, yeah.
Just the other kind.
Way. Yeah.
I mean, to see it all go awry like that, that's so tough. I think I'm gonna ride on board or ride here with Squilliam this last lap. He certainly earned it. He's put on a show today, to say the least. He's been faster than everybody else. See, does he have fastest lap? He does not have fastest lap. It does not look like.
No. And Beaver's actually been catching him in this final stint as well. So good speed from Beaver here in this second race especially. But Squilliam did the hard work early on, getting through the field in the way that he did, capitalising on that little bit of hesitation from Notvin when I think it was DC who went wide from the lead. Notvin just hesitated to take it for just a moment, and that allowed Squilliam to get through on the inside line. Notvin got caught up in his own troubles, then got stuck in the midfield a little bit. Then, of course, had that very long stop, but none of that matters to Squilliam, really. He's going to done what he could have here today. He's overturned that 2-point championship deficit that he had coming in today, and he's turned it around into a huge advantage for himself.
Well, he has. You talk about, how Notvin, it was all in Notvin's control, as well. Man, I tell you what, Squilliam certainly took control of his own destiny today. Short of getting the fastest lap in this race, it does not look like he put a wheel wrong all day, He
certainly hasn't. What a fantastic drive from Squilliam as he comes over the line here at the Hockenheim ring to take a double victory and nearly a full point total. He misses out on 1 or 2 bonus points, but he will gain more than enough for what he needs to do here tonight over Notvin, who at the moment is just coming in towards the final sector. It looks like he is going to hang on to ninth position. In fact, Amman has just dropped back a little bit further in these last couple of moments, but it's a huge points loss. Ninth position for Notvin only gains him 22 points as opposed to the 35 that Squilliam is going to get for winning this race. That's going to be a 13-point loss. I believe at the very least the gap is going to be 15 points in Squilliam's favour going into that final round, and he even bobbles over the curves a little bit there, Notvin, as he comes through the final corner. That is a huge moment for this championship. Notvin finishing down in ninth.
Yeah, that's got to be a horribly frustrating evening for him, given everything that happened. But, wow. That was, it's heartbreaking. I feel for him. I really do. Man, that's crazy. But what an absolute show Squilliam put on.
Yeah, he's won again, this time by 5 seconds in race number 2. The final drivers make their way over the line. This has been an exhibition from Squilliam, it certainly has. And he has taken the championship lead as a result. We'll chat to him in a moment when we've finished up the results here in a few moments' time. Now all the drivers have crossed the line. We will be able to show them in a second. But what a win for Squilliam. As I mentioned earlier, came in today 2 points behind. He's won 2 races, and now he is miles in front. He's taken his win tally, by the way, to 7 as well here with this victory. That will be unassailable as well, that advantage over the rest of the field with only 2 rounds to go. He's won here by 5 seconds in race 2 ahead of Beaver, and Hypnotus 2 will join us for interviews as well in a moment. DC will be in 4th. Everything's disappeared.
Yeah,
we'll get that back up in a second. There we go.
I would love to say
AJ
it was a technical issue, but
top 5.
It was me.
AJ finishes in the top 5 as well, ahead of Blackball Wallace and Nicoletta just outside. Jason Winnicki finished on his own in 8th. Wasn't to be chased down by Notterman at the finish, with Gavin Hammond running out the top 10. Jason Meyer was the only other one on the lead lap. Urko, Bozak, Yomega and Ryan Schwab all finished 1 lap down. Matthew Kasuda dropped out of the race early, as we saw. Let's have a chat to Squilliam, then, who has taken a double race win here tonight. Congratulations, Squilliam, on a double race win. Let's chat about your race first of all, before the wider picture. Talk us through coming through the field from 8th place to win again here in race 2.
Yeah, that was interesting. I really thought that I was going to lose out to Nodovan there those first couple laps, and they started battling in front of me, and got a little lucky and shot right through all of them, which was fun. So yeah, I think I made a lot of good decisions there, and got a little lucky in the end, so I'll take it.
Absolutely, you've got to do both to get through in one of these races, that's for sure. In terms of the wider picture, I think your championship lead is going to be roughly 15 points based on the maths we've done, although that could be entirely wrong, to be honest with you. I'm very prepared for that. Nottervin, of course, dropping to 9th place in that second race. How does that make you feel now with that championship lead to hold on to into the final 2 races?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame to see that he got that penalty, but, I'll take any points I can get. So definitely gives me a bit more of a comfortable cushion next week, or next in the 2 weeks, I guess. So happy to have that cushion, but still going to have a decent race and try to stay ahead of him just to secure it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you there, of course, in a couple of weeks' time. Congratulations on a double win tonight, though, Squilliam, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Squilliam there chatting to us after a double victory here tonight in the rounds at the Hockenheim ring. It's time to chat to Beaver now, second place in tonight's racing as well. Congratulations, Beaver, on a second place in race number 2. You had to fight your way through the field in a similar fashion here to what Squilliam did. Tell us how you were able to do it in those first few laps.
Yeah, there was nice close racing. The top 8, 10 in the beginning there had a lot of pace. We were all really close together. Then the 2 leaders took themselves out, right? I think that happened here, Erko and Spook Dubs. And then there was a part where maybe DC, Nodovan, and myself went 3 wide, and I was the one that put it 3 wide. And I feel like I threw the race away for myself and the other guys, because at that point, Squilliam was in the lead. And by putting it 3 wide, I screwed us all. So, in retrospect, that sucks. I'm pretty bummed with myself, but P2's fine. P2's okay. I'll take it.
These things happen after all. P2, as you say, will maybe climb you up through the championship. Actually, I'm not quite sure how that's worked out for the moment. But as we're drawing to the end of this season, how have you feel this season's gone now? As you're still battling away from that 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship?
Yeah, I don't know. The sprint series hasn't been my strong suit, and I've had a few hiccups. So any drop that I might get is going to help. But I don't think I'm in any contention for the championship win. I put my focus more towards the endurance series. So while this is a fun break in between, the car's fun. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for in the sprint series. But 2 high downforce cars is. I could say it can get old week to week. But yeah, my focus is more in the endurance series.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you in that endurance series in 1 week's time, where you certainly are going for the championship. Congratulations on finishing second in race 2 here tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks very much. Beaver finishing second in race number 2 tonight, followed by Itmadust, who finishes in third. Congratulations, Itmadust, on a third place finish. Talk us through the first race tonight, though, first of all, before we get to the good part and the second race. You had to start that second race from quite a long way back. Tell us about that first race for yourself.
Yeah, well, good to be up here and talk to you. And I think Jim's up here too. I don't know. He's been quiet.
I am, yes.
First race, I was pushing, trying to take those last couple corners a little too wide and dropped my left rear in the dirt. It spun me, and then a couple laps later, again, trying to push a little too hard in those last couple corners, and I bottomed out on the sausage curb and spun again. So that's how I ended up kind of down the order in race 1, but it did manage to work out. So
Exactly. You still managed to get a podium. Again, I feel like I've asked the same thing 3 times to 3 different drivers, but you all managed to get through the field really quite nicely in the early laps of that race. Tell us how you were able to do it from even further back than the other 2 did.
Well, I actually started within the row behind Squilliam, since he won and went back to 8th. But the car that I started inside of just backed way out of turn 1, which let me take it faster and stay on top of the group in front. And then just watching and pay attention to them squeezing each other and just trying to set up as the next corners happened. And then I don't know what happened to pull 3 or 4 of them out of there, but that definitely helped open up some space for us all to put some speed down.
All right, certainly did. Congratulations on finishing on the podium tonight in race number 2, nevertheless. And thanks for coming to chat to us as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks very much. That's Itmadust in third place tonight in race number 2 at the Hockenheim ring. That's just about going to do it for us here tonight, Jim. A very decisive day, it feels like, in the championship, that one.
Yeah, I think a lot was probably decided today. And unfortunately it was decided by a penalty. Obviously a self-induced penalty, but nevertheless, unfortunate for sure.
It certainly was. Notvin will come into the race in 2 weeks' time with a bit of a deficit over the rest of his only championship rival now remaining, Squilliam, who will lead this championship. In the endurance points, though, Notvin is still in the game with Beaver, who is tied on points with him after 6 of our 8 rounds. Make sure you join us again in 7 days' time as the endurance series resumes, this time from the bumps of Sebring. We'll be live same time, same place with that one. I've been Dylan O'Leary alongside Jim Cunningham. Until we see you for that broadcast in 7 days' time when the Endurance Series returns, it's goodbye for now.